Welcome to another episode of the Business Automation Show. My name is Uwe. I'm the founder of InvoiceBerry, a simple online invoicing tool for small business owners, solopreneurs, and freelancers. Today we're looking at how to send out an automated invoice whenever a customer signs your contract or document or terms and conditions using the digital signature platform called Signedly. So I'm right now on the Signedly website and I've got a Signedly account and I already uploaded my first contract or agreement. I signed it myself just to give some test data to Zapier later on. And now let's set up this automation workflow in a moment. Potential use cases are whenever you have a new client, you first want them to sign your terms and conditions or your contract in order to send out the first invoice and start your work. This often happens with retainers if you want to send out monthly invoices, if you run a cleaning business or consulting business, a marketing agency, if you just want to wait until you have this legally binding document signed before you start your work and before you send out those invoices. We've also got some videos in the reversed way where you first create your first invoice and then we send out the document. Check out our YouTube channel for that. But in this case, we first want the signature and then we create the invoice. Let's get right into it. Okay, in Zapier, we have to search for Signedly and then for InvoiceBerry. Once the document is completed, so it is signed, we want to create a new invoice. We could also just set up the client, or we could create a recurring invoice profile. So we then automatically will send weekly or monthly or quarterly invoices to that client. In this case, I just say create a new invoice and I click on try it. All right, as a first step, we have to connect our Signedly account with Zapier. Let's click on sign in. Okay, perfect. So that's it. We are connected and let's click on continue. And now on test trigger, it should find the last document I signed here. Perfect. Yeah, it found the document and I click on continue. And now we have to connect our InvoiceBerry account. I've already got an account connected here. If you haven't connected your InvoiceBerry account yet, simply head over to your InvoiceBerry account, click on settings, then main settings and integrations. And here you will find your API key and password. If you don't have one yet, just click on request new key and password and it will create one for you. Okay, perfect. So once you connected your InvoiceBerry account, just click on continue. So now we have to set up the automation. We can leave this field empty because we don't want to send an invoice to an already existing client, but we want to actually create a new client. So the client name, we can take the information from Signedly. Let's say we use the first name and the last name as a client name. We can leave these fields empty. It will just take the default values from your InvoiceBerry account. And then as a client email, we want to use the emails that we received from Signedly. That is the user email field. And then as a first name, we set up first name and the last name. We don't have any of the address details right now, so we leave those empty. We always need to set up a currency. So let's say we build in US dollars. So let me just select that. And we always have to set up a date of issue for the invoice. You can always just either select it from here, created at. So here you see, you can take the value from Signedly, or you can just say today, and it will automatically change into today's date whenever the workflow is running. Here you can give a discount, the terms, you can set up how many days they have time to pay. Let's say they have 7 days to pay. Notes, and here are the item details. So here you can set up the product or service name. Let's say it's a monthly retainer for my agency services, and the unit cost is $900. The quantity is 1. I don't want to set up taxes now. I could set up VAT or GST or any other taxes from your InvoiceBerry account. And you can also, if you want to have multiple lines of items, you could, for example, here write agency fee. So you do a comma, and here let's say this is an extra $50 and the quantity is 1. So you just comma separate it here, and here you say that the data separator is a comma. And here you could say you want it saved as a draft or send invoice, but I leave that empty. Here you could already add payment to the invoice. So if you want to mark the invoice as already paid, I also leave that empty. And here I actually say I want to send the invoice. So this way it will be automatically marked as sent in your InvoiceBerry account, and we will automatically send it to the client's email address. Let's click on continue. Now you can double check the fields you filled out, and let's click on test action to see what happens. So again, once your client signed the document that we've got here in our Signedly account, I added a document here. Let me have a look. Yeah, it's completed. So this was my sample contract document. I created it, I sent it to my client, and once they filled it out, the information will be sent to Zapier, and then let's have a look here. Yes, invoice inserted successfully. Let's have a look in our InvoiceBerry account. Then the invoice will be created in InvoiceBerry. All right, perfect. So here we see the invoice. Let's click on it. And here we see the client name. So I just send it to myself, the invoice total. And as you can see here, we have 2 lines, the monthly retainer and the agency fee, $90 and $50. So $950. And let's have a final look. Okay, so the invoice date is today and the due date is 7 days later, because I set up that I want the due date to be 7 days later. So just as a final thing, just go to your Zapier account and click on the publish button in order to take that automation live. From now on, whenever a document gets signed via Signedly, it automatically will create an invoice for your customer and send it to them. Thanks a lot for listening. And if you've got any questions how to further optimize and automate your business, please leave it in the comments below. I'm always happy to help. Happy invoicing and bye-bye.